Since the end of World War II, the UN Security Council has played a critical role in maintaining global peace. However, as the international political landscape evolves, can it still effectively address the challenges of the modern world? In this video, we dive deep into the Council's history, its current issues, and the urgent need for reform, illustrated through vibrant satirical cartoons. Welcome to Black Bloc Hong Kongers, your go-to channel for in-depth discussions on international politics and global crises. Stay tuned as we uncover the truths behind the headlines. Like, share, and subscribe to join our community of critical thinkers. The establishment of the United Nations Security Council was driven by the global political needs following the end of World War II. In 1945, after the war, the world's desire for peace reached an unprecedented high. The creation of the United Nations aimed to prevent another global conflict and to maintain world peace through international cooperation. As one of the core organs of the UN, the Security Council was entrusted with the responsibility of safeguarding international security, particularly through conflict resolution, coordinating international actions, and imposing sanctions to preserve peace. However, despite the Security Council's purpose of addressing global issues, its structure and operational mechanisms have presented several challenges. The Council is made up of 15 member states, 5 of which are permanent members: China, the United States, Russia, the United Kingdom, and France, with veto power, meaning that decisions are often influenced by the political interests of these countries. While this structure reflected the post-World War II international political order, it now appears outdated and unable to effectively address the current challenges of a multipolar world. For example, when international conflicts arise, such as those in Syria or Ukraine, the opposing stances of the permanent members often prevent the Security Council from reaching a unanimous decision. In these situations, a single veto can invalidate an entire resolution, rendering the Council ineffective and addressing major international crises. This not only undermines the Security Council's influence in resolving global conflicts, but also raises doubts about its fairness and legitimacy among many nations. Additionally, the structural issues of the Security Council have become more apparent over time. The selection of the permanent members was originally based on the military and economic power of the major world powers at the time, with the belief that these nations had a special responsibility to maintain world peace. However, as the global landscape has evolved, the 5 permanent members no longer represent the diversity of the modern world. Many emerging powers such as India, Germany, and Brazil have called for reforms, demanding a more equitable representation of global interests. Yet, the reform process has been slow, partly due to the resistance of the current permanent members to change the status quo. At the root of these issues lies the design of the United Nations Charter. The creators did not foresee the profound changes the world would undergo, nor did they establish effective mechanisms to adjust the Security Council structure. Therefore, any reform requires unanimous approval from all the permanent members, making change incredibly difficult, especially when it involves expanding or modifying the permanent seats. In this context, Security Council reform has become a widely debated issue. While there is a general consensus on the need for reform, implementing it remains a daunting challenge. The core issue is whether the permanent members are willing to relinquish some of their power to meet the needs of the modern international community. Despite this, the call for reform persists, and whether the major global powers can overcome their differences to drive meaningful change will have a profound impact on the future development of international order. Thus, while the Security Council was originally intended to maintain global peace and security, its operational challenges, due to structural limitations, have left it struggling, facing increasingly complex international problems. How to make the Security Council adapt to the demands of the new era and play a more significant role remains an urgent issue. When we reflect on the history and current situation of the United Nations Security Council, it is undeniable that it played a crucial role in the post-World War II world order. However, as the global political landscape has evolved and issues have become more complex, the Security Council has increasingly become ineffective in addressing current international challenges. Faced with various conflicts and global challenges, the Security Council's operations are often stalled, and it struggles to provide solutions. The current structure of the Security Council, particularly the veto power of the permanent members and its outdated representation, no longer fully reflects the multipolarity and diversity of the modern international community. Against this backdrop, there is a growing call from the international community for reform, and the demand for change has become more urgent. However, the road to reform is fraught with challenges, especially as the interests and status quo of the current major powers slow down the pace of change. Perhaps, at some point in the future, we will witness a significant reshuffling of the international governance system. With the global political changes of 2025, will the Security Council be able to adapt to the current world situation, or will it become a defunct institution? This is a question the international community must confront, and whether reform will occur still depends on whether the global powers can set aside their own interests and embrace meaningful change. So, what are your thoughts on the future of the Security Council? Do you believe it needs to be reshuffled, or has it already lost its ability to effectively safeguard global peace and security? Thank you for watching BlackBlock Hong Kong's Global Insight Network. Like, share, and subscribe for in-depth analyses on international politics and critical issues. Explore these videos next and join the conversation for a more insightful world.